AMC getting a bounce here off the $32 area. It's Thursday morning and we're talking about AMC and what is going on with this stock today. It went from down to $31, now back up there to $33, trying to go from red to green here, but can it actually make that move? Gonna break it down here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and well, today we're taking a look at AMC once again. Now, number one, I'm not gonna really address all the haters and all the people who were very, very upset yesterday because I called a full-grown man a troll, and I asked if he was on drugs, and I said, you know, what's going on with his background? Obviously, it's hard to be this beautiful here on YouTube. I know people are gonna be jealous about how beautiful I actually am, but today, let's talk. Look at this price action right now here on AMC. We got this squeeze going on right now from the $32 area up there to almost $34. Now, yesterday I made a video talking about how this would probably happen. I'm expecting some type of bounce in this area, and that would lead people to, number one, believe that this is time to be buying, because getting that bounce off the $32 area. If you look on the daily chart here, you can see exactly why this is happening. Filling that gap, that was so important for this stock to do, was to fill that gap here at the $32 area. Now, is that to say that we're going to now rally back to $70 after filling that gap? Obviously, no. We were expecting some type of bounce here off of that $32 area, especially because, like I said, some of the other YouTubers out there talking about that $32 area, that support area there. I don't really think there's actual support there other than the fact that it's just technical at this point and it's bouncing after filling that gap and getting a bit of a relief bounce, which you can see the other day it did something very similar off that $40 area, bouncing off $40 and squeezing back out there to $50. Now, the thing about this is, obviously, on the way down, as this stock is moving lower, it's not going to just go straight from $60 to $0. It's going to obviously, you know, have some ups and some downs, and that's the thing about, even when, you know, when the market's moving higher, there's going to be obviously the push to the upside, a pullback to support, and, you know, do that in a wave formation. I've talked about that so many times here on the channel, how, you know, stocks move in waves. So even when a stock is moving down, even when it's selling off, there's going to obviously be bounces on the way back up, kind of returning to that kind of previous price action area just to see if those buyers are there to kind of test the waters, and then the price normally moves in that current direction that it's in. And obviously the direction that we're in right now is clearly pointing AMC to the downside here. And now, and one thing, again, I think a lot of people got very upset yesterday because, again, I talked about their supreme leader in a fashion that they didn't like. People don't like when, you know, people talk about their supreme leaders. And I get it. I get it. You know, the 5,000 dislikes really proved one thing on the video that I made yesterday. That 5,000 dislikes proved the point that the sheep love to get slaughtered, because one thing I've learned, you know, over my 4 or 5 years of doing the YouTube and the trading and all that, is that when a large mass of people believe one thing about a stock, when a large mass of people are bullish on a stock, like they are, you know, with the 5,000 dislikes on the video that I made of AMC, when there's that many people that are bullish on a stock, well, that normally means one thing, that the party has already happened, that all those people are late to the party. They ended up buying at a much higher price, and, well, they're holding the bag. Now, like I said, obviously we're getting that balance there from the $32 area up there to $35. Just, you can rewind the video from yesterday. I said the exact thing is happening right now. But in general, let's talk about the very, very interesting idea that 5,000 people disliked the video yesterday. And I think, you know, obviously a lot of that, the dislike and the hate from people mostly came from me basically saying that Trey trades, you know, look like a troll. And it was really just in a very, very, you know, a fun way. It wasn't personal, okay? I know people are going to get upset and say, oh, well, he's in the military. And to be honest, I had no idea he was in the military. I don't, you know, watch his videos that often. I just watched a few videos where he talked about the real price and all these things about, you know, the naked shorts and all these manipulation, all the FUD. It's really interesting how, you know, everyone holding AMC, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people holding AMC, the reasons that they have found for why the stock should go back up, the reasons that they have found, why they believe that AMC should be valued at a certain point, comes down to emotion. People have all these emotions tied up in the stock at this point. They have belief that, number one, that the hedge funds are out to get them. This is my favorite, is that people believe that I'm being paid by hedge funds. I'm being paid by hedge funds to make videos about AMC. I wish it was that simple. I literally wish that hedge funds paid me to make videos about AMC, but they don't. I make them for free because I'm an idiot, obviously, and I just love to get hate on the internet. But in general, I want to make it very clear. Nobody is paying me to make videos about AMC or any, stock like this. This is not a thing. There's not hedge funds out there paying, at least paying me to do it. Maybe they pay other YouTubers. I can't obviously say for sure. But in general, the whole emotional aspect of the AMC trade at this point has really just made people so emotionally attached to this trade at this point that anything and everything that comes up, anything that they don't like, anytime it comes up, anytime of information comes out that they don't like, they claim that that information is FUD. FUD. Everyone's trying to keep AMC down. The whole entire world is out to get the apes. It's very interesting to see how emotional this trade has become at this point. And there we go, up there to 35.48 now. So AMC trying to push up. Obviously, the next resistance after this is going to be that $37 area, or really even like right where we're at right there, $35, having a little bit of resistance. I'd probably put 37 as that next resistance area to watch there on AMC. But in general, guys, we've got to really ask ourselves, at what point does the emotion start to really just cloud what is going on? Obviously, I understand the premise here. I think a lot of people got really upset that I don't understand what is going on here at the AMC. I understand that a lot of people believe that there's millions of naked shorts that need to be covered, that there's millions of shorts in general that need to be covered. But the thing is, look at the volume already. We've had 17 million shares traded so far today. 17 million shares. Look at the action on this, guys. This is not a hard stock to get covered on. And the thing is if I'm a hedge fund or if I'm a bank or whatever whatever you're attacking, emotionally, whatever is holding AMC down at this point and not letting it go to 100,000. Whoever those people are, if they're really, if they're really that worried about the stock going higher, they could easily cover. Like right now, I could cover easily. I could cover 1 million shares like that easily. I could easily just right now. I could just slowly just start buy this dip. I could buy, covering my position, no problem. Look at the volume here. That's one thing. If the float is locked up, I don't think a lot of people have ever seen this before. But sometimes when a float really has a small float, when you have a really tiny float and the float gets locked up, and that's when you create this insane squeeze. And I think people, it's funny, they think that like no one's ever seen a squeeze before. But I've been doing this long enough to have seen many, many squeezes. We've seen this in the past. We had a deal with Guy Gentile where he went and bought an entire float of a stock, and the stock went up like 1,000%. It was madness. Like there was no selling. It was literally just ding, 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 ding. Just shorts trying to get covered and getting squeezed out of that. And something obviously is much different here with the AMC because you have so much volume, so much action here. So easily, like I said, shorts can get covered, no problem. That's the thing to think about here. If I was a short and I wanted to cover, it wouldn't be hard to cover. Like I said, I easily could have covered. So 100,000 shares right there, no problem. And it's very interesting to think that people believe that shorts can't cover. And and the problem too is a lot of these numbers and the shorts percentages and all these different numbers that people are grabbing at and finding on the internet, a lot of these numbers aren't actually reflecting like what is going on, right now, like in the moment, because a lot of these numbers are old or they're not being updated or who even knows where these numbers come from. I see a lot of like different websites that are listing all these different numbers and percentages and things that they're just making. I'm not gonna say they're making them up, but at the end of the day, guys, the price of the stock is reflecting one thing, and that's reflecting supply and demand here. And that's why the stock is just kind of slowly bleeding out here from the highs. You can see all the volume down here. This is all the volume back when this big squeeze happened. And I even told Trades or whatever, told Trey, whatever it is, this move here, earlier this year in February, buying down here at the $3-4 area, riding it up to $7, that's a beautiful trade. that's a all day long congratulations. That's a beautiful trade. But the problem now is really asking yourself, at what point does that beautiful trade from $2 to $70 turn into a bad trade trying to buy the dip here as the stock is clearly pulling back here? Now, again, I'm going to just say, like I always say, there's a chance that this does bounce and does want to push back up here a little bit. But in general, as long as we continue in this downward trend, the stock is obviously selling off and there's a downward trend. So as a trader, which I am, this is a trading YouTube channel, we have to buy stocks, sell stocks based on the trend, based on the momentum. And right now I'm going to say obviously that the momentum on AMC is, looking very, very bearish in the sense of where it's going. And like I said, there we are bouncing off $32 there, back up there to 35. Pretty clear, like I said yesterday, that $32 area would get a bounce, and here we are. So again, I think a lot of people got very, very upset and very emotional yesterday about the video, and I get it. Everyone's very, at the end of the day, I understand it's your money. You've got your 10 shares of AMC, and you're hoping that it goes to $1 million so that you can pay off your mortgage. And there's nothing that I would wish more than that, for everybody out there who's holding AMC. At the end of the day, it's, I'm not going to lose money. I'm not going to make money if AMC goes to $1 million. Hopefully I'm going to make money, but I'm not going to lose money here at this point anymore, because at this point, I've just basically said, hey, if AMC gives us the opportunity, I'll look to trade it. But at the end of the day, if there's not opportunity, if this thing is just sell, 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 then why would I sit here and try to hold the bag? I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of trader. I'm not going to just buy a stock and hope and pray. That's the worst way to trade. That's the worst way to invest, hoping and praying. You've got to really look at the fundamentals. Well, not fundamentals here on this stock, obviously, because there is no fundamentals. But you really got to ask yourself at the end of the day, what kind of trader are you? Are you the type of trader who just buys a stock and hopes and prays and holds forever that it might go back up? At the end of the day, like I said, I might be totally wrong about this whole entire thing and AMC is going to go to the moon. But as a trader, personally, I look at it like I'm not going to just sit here and hope and pray and have the emotions like people had yesterday watching my video. People were very, 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 very emotionally attached, to the premise here. And that's kind of, I think, where people are going wrong. They're going wrong because once you attach emotion, once you attach, all that to a price of a stock, or really just to money in general, you become irrational. And I think a lot of people have become very, very irrational at this point on this AMC play. So there it is. There's decent amount of support so far this morning. That volume, you can see the volume really spiking up here as well this morning, squeezing this up there now, $36. This is not, like I said, this was not talked about. This was not talked about. We talked about this yesterday. That balance off that $32 area, there it is, from $31 up there to $36. There's money to be made. I'm wasting my time right now even making this video trying to explain, at the end of the day, there's money to be made here on AMC, up, down, all around. At the end of the day, if there's volatility in the market, there's money to be made. But I'm not going to become, emotionally attached to this premise, this idea that I'm trying to revolutionize the world, trying to take down the hedge funds. Because at the end of the day, guys, we're here to make money, right? You're here to make money. I'm here to make money. I know some people out there are just here to hold their 10 shares of AMC because they want to hold it and they want to beat down on Wall Street. But at the end of the day, I can't pay my rent by beating down Wall Street, especially if I don't actually beat them down. That'll really not be easy to pay my rent. So you got to really ask yourself, at what point does this become an emotional train wreck versus actually investing and trading? So that's where I'm at with AMC. Again, numbers don't lie. The float on AMC, 500 million shares or more. I don't even know what the float is right now because they keep adding shares. But in general, over 500 million shares in the float. Compare that to GameStop with 50 million shares in the float. It's a totally different ball game. That's 10 times the float on a stock here like AMC. 10 times the float compared to GME. GameStop went to $400. If you do, the math here, pretty much AMC has made a very similar move to GameStop. Based on the amount of supply and then obviously based on the float. Comparing the float, you can't deny the fact here that GameStop, which a lot of people say that AMC is following GameStop in its moves and in its price action, but in general, you can't deny the fact that GameStop has a very, very, very different float, comparing 50 million shares to 500 million shares in the float. So right now, we'll see what happens. AMC bouncing off that $35 area, trying to pull back there a little bit. Bitcoin, everything kind of red today. AMC green right now. We'll see how this ends up by the end of the day. But I want to make that video. I saw like how emotional people got, that 5,000 dislikes. I think that was a pretty good example of this trade could possibly, you know, be reaching its end of life. The fact that there's that many dislikes on the video, that many people that are basically in love with this stock at this point. And I get it, you know, everybody wants to become a millionaire, but this might not be the way. This might not be the way, my friends. So if you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I will talk to you guys later on.